It looks like just another Sunday at any church in any town. The faithful meet and pray and hear their message for the week. But this is not just any Sunday. This is not just any church. It's First Baptist Church of Panama City, Florida.
I told you guys last night, Chief of Emergency Services Mark Bowen says bridge closures are inevitable with this storm.
We're at the Panama City Marina, and Hurricane Michael continues to turn closer. The wind is really intense. The rain has kind of been sideways.
We're across the street, Harrison.
There you go. Zoom in there. There you go. That's the United Way building.
Oh boy, stuff's coming off top of our building because we are right next door to First Baptist. All of the awnings around the side of the building's gone. This is going to look like so many other hurricanes. Everything is going to be blown away.
Unimaginable destruction. So many lives have been changed forever. So many families have lost everything. Homes are gone. Businesses are gone. Roads and infrastructure along the storm's path have been destroyed.
Man, this can't be happening, you know. I looked at the educational facilities, which we call the BC and the D building, and these big, huge concrete structures that a generation before me had given so much to build was pretty much just gone. And my heart was saying, man, this is tough. I was able to get in touch with Mark Broersma, a member of our church who works with Regency, and I said, well, you know, get a hold of your company, call them in. So by Friday, they were moving their equipment in. This company moves so quickly on our facilities. They were really able to begin the drying process and the cleanup process. Had it not been for that, and we would have gone 3 or 4 more days, I would hate to see what the devastation would have been for our worship center.
Because the Regency DRT team was taking care of the mess Hurricane Michael left at the church, Pastor Connor and his team could take care of the more pastoral endeavors. And there were plenty of those to go around.
Man, how are our people doing? Because I knew that there were going to be a boatload of people that were in distress. How can we come together as a church staff to check on every single member? Lots of them, you know, lost everything. You know, home's gone. And so, well, that's the tough thing about this. For the prior 30 weeks, we had been holding services out in the parking garage, which were not ideal, but I thought that it was just extremely important to get people together.
And in only 3 weeks after Hurricane Michael struck the Panhandle, the 3,000 faithful of First Baptist Church of Panama City came back to the place they call home.
Yesterday, being able to come back together, and what was so cool about our first service in our worship center was that people were here an hour early. They wanted to see their church family, you know, and you couldn't get rid of them yesterday afternoon. They just hung around and talked and hugged each other's necks and shared stories. But yeah, I'm extremely pleased. As a matter of fact, if you would have told me that the first time that I looked at these facilities, that we will be having worship in this church again in 3 weeks, I would have said you have lost your mind. But I'm telling you, Regency came in here, man, they got on the ball 24/7. Place was covered with their employees, and the job that they did was absolutely fascinating. And so that gives me confidence to believe that in the next few months, that the recovery of those other buildings, that it's going to go just as well as the recovery of this one has. You know, it kind of reminds me of a quote by Thomas Edison when all of his facilities burned down, you know, and he looked at his wife and he says, well, there's always something good in tragedy. And he says, all of our mistakes were burned up and we can start over again. And so that's kind of the approach that we're looking at, you know. We get to start over and maybe rebuild it in a better way.